So for this next module, we're going to get into who is your target market and how to approach them successfully. Our ideal market is small to medium businesses. There's so many businesses out there. In fact, the majority of businesses out there actually fall into this category. One thing I want to mention there, one of the images is about the medical industry. Sometimes you find that medical industries have private health insurance machines, high caps and so on. That doesn't matter, we don't provide that, but they often still process regular cards, Visa and MasterCard. You also want to understand how to recognize a turnover, the turnover of a business in assessing the opportunity, because just because a business looks big or small doesn't necessarily mean that the residuals that you earn are going to be big or small, or the value of that customer or that bill to Inovia will be corresponding to how the business looks. So the larger the turnover, the better for you and I. We're not actually paid on the profit of the business, we're paid on the turnover, and the turnover can be incredible. The sky's the limit as well, really. There's no size limit on who we can help with an Inovia service. It really comes down to, can we support their point of sale system, and also can you get through to the decision maker. Now, we support most POS systems, point of sale. It's just a matter of the Inovia guys having a conversation with them and just taking some of the technical side of things, but we support most. And also, as far as reaching the decision maker, I'm going to teach you a simple conversation that can lead you to the right person to talk to within that business, working through the relationships. Now, a word on who is not our ideal market, because this is important for us as IBOs to understand. Some businesses have higher rates of risk, and that correlates to higher numbers of contested transaction. A contested transaction is where someone goes to their bank and charges back that transaction, and banks will typically side with the cardholder, give them back their money, and then go up the chain to try and get the money back from the business. So we want to stay away from troublesome industries. What I'm talking about there is industries that have higher probability of problems. So let's go shopping. What are some of the practical things you can do to expand your warm market? Well, make wise decisions when you spend money. If you want to go and do business with a business, choose a business that may do business with you. There's no point going and shopping at a large multinational if a local store nearby is more likely to become your customer. So make the wise buying decisions daily that can be growing your warm market. Also, make a list of all the businesses that you already know, and you'll be amazed how many businesses you already frequent, and why wouldn't they want to consider supporting your business if you're supporting them ongoing. If necessary, change some of the places you shop. Go independent. Choose the smaller independent fuel station over the big chain. Choose the smaller convenience store over the big chain store. That will give you far more inroads of people to talk to. And also, as you pull your credit card out every day to pay for various things, that can become a psychological prompt to start that conversation, to pique them for Inovia. So make sure you're educating your muscles every time you pull your card out, that you have to make sure that you talk to them about the services that we offer there. So here's a conversation. Now, this is my conversation that I've used to grow just this year my Inovia customer base now into dozens. It's incredible how simple this conversation really can be. I'm not saying this is the only script to use, but I've proven that this has worked really well for me. When I'm paying with that card, like I mentioned, it's very simple to ask them, what percentage of people choose card over cash these days? I just say something like, I'm just curious, what percentage of people still use cash? And people typically will say, well, it's about 80–90% of people use card, and it's growing. Very few people have cash these days. I let them get a bit of a conversation going. I'm building rapport with them in the process, and I'll make a little bit of a joke that they must love paying all those fees. They must love the bank taking a cut of that much of their business. Obviously they don't. If there's someone that's a manager or owner of the business, they're going to know very well how much this is costing them, and it's growing all the time. I then let them know that I'm working with a company that's slashing a lot of local businesses' merchant fees. They're actually part of the largest FPOS network in the world. That's First Data. They are the largest footprint, as we spoke about in an earlier module. Have you shopped around in the last year or two? Now refer back to that CanStar Blue Merchant Satisfaction Survey. We know that most people haven't shopped around, but they've been thinking about it. They just haven't known what to do. So when you ask that, it's a leading question, and then we simply offer them by saying, would you mind if I took 2 minutes to arrange a free quote? Now, at this point, they're probably going to be open to it, but you need to exercise your wisdom to respect the fact that they're in business. So you don't hijack their time. Like, let's say you're buying a coffee, like I frequently am, and there's a queue of people behind waiting for their caffeine. You want to make sure you step to the side, you work with the person while they're doing whatever they're doing. Stay back if you need to in that business. You'll start a conversation that will lead you to countless quotes going into Anovia. So do you have all these tools in your belt? I'm just going to rehash a few things that we've just spoken about previously. As we said, you got to know your account manager personally. That's the only way that you can handle multiple quotes at once. You need to have a tool on your phone. Have a PDF scanner app that will take photos of those merchant statements and convert them down to be a low resolution black and white PDF document. You've obviously at this point got your flyers and business cards at the ready, as we spoke about before. Those professional tools help you look professional. You want to know how to navigate your personal customer list in your back office, because that's where some of the updates are going to filter through from Anovia every day. As you check that, you can see where these applications are up to, and obviously make sure those alerts are coming through that you've activated so that ACN can keep you in the loop as Anovia processes these transactions. So that's the end of this module, guys. We'll catch you back for the next one shortly.